Hello and welcome to Encrypted Inc. I'm your host Dan, Encrypted decrypting ASX and crypto for you. Today's show, ASX and crypto market update, ASX and crypto news, and the one that everyone seems to be liking is the secrets revealed, and we're doing episode 7 today, which is what I mentioned in episode 6 was coming up. A downward trend and anticipating an entry to a market. I'm going to break this up into 3 parts. Today we're going to talk about the very basics, and we're going to talk about just a basic trend line and also Elliott waves. Part 2 will be Fibonacci levels and MAs, and part 3 will be candlesticks and just the basics regarding looking at a candlestick and what does it mean for the probability of a market moving in one direction or another. Keep in mind, guys, with secrets revealed and market analysis and TA, basically what you're trying to do is understand the probability of a market moving in a certain direction. It's not always going to be 100% accurate. There are other factors that can make a market move in the other direction, but if all is well and your probability is on your side, you'll make the right decision when investing. Okay, shout outs to Perth Crypto crew and Perth Crypto Group. Perth Crypto Group James and Perth Crypto Group Kevin, thank you for your support. You guys are legends. Last shout out is to Carlos Sainz, the Ferrari driver. It was the Russian Grand Prix just over the weekend. Carlos finished 3rd. Good on you, Carlos. I got my Ferrari shirt on today. Well done, mate. You did an excellent job. You're the wet weather specialist, and not only that, McLaren, I believe, would probably have a better car than Ferrari this year, and he did an excellent job to finish 3rd, so congratulations on that. Also, we got upgrades coming to Ferrari with their power unit in the next race, so if you're interested in Formula 1, stay tuned. It's exciting. The Russian Grand Prix was so exciting. It had more drama than an episode of Real Housewives of Cheshire, so get on board with that. If you want to know more about crypto, so guys, join both those Facebook groups. Also ask any members in the Perth Crypto crew about the Discord. They'll send you the link to that. I have to give a shout out also to Unspecial in that Discord. Awesome TA, mate. I even learned something from that. I mean, that's the whole point of what we do. I don't claim to know everything, but this is a journey, this is learning, and yeah, you have excellent TA. So get on board to that if you want to learn more about technical analysis regarding markets. All right. The next thing, thank you for all your support. My Facebook has been going absolutely crazy with probably about 20 to 30 plus friend requests each and every day, and sometimes even more. So I'm going to ask anyone out there, if you know how to just auto accept friends on Facebook when they send you a friend request, can you please leave a comment in the description regarding that, because yeah, it's just going so crazy that I just don't have the time to go through all of it and click accept and confirm on all friends. So thank you to that. Subscribers are up now. We've had 26, 27 about 2 or 3 days ago. I have 32 now. The shirt giveaway, Encrypted Inc. shirt, free shirt. If you like the content and you want to be in a chance to win the free shirt, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Once I hit 50 subscribers, I will be giving away a free shirt. Just on another note, guys, scammers out there, impersonators, I am not going to take any money from anyone. What I do is completely me giving back to you. So if anyone gets in contact with you that may have some sort of name similar to mine, or an email that looks similar to mine that's asking for money or anything of you, don't accept it. The only thing that I will be in contact with anyone with would be regarding the shirt giveaway, and that will be from an email that I'll specifically mention in this channel. So that's that out of the way. All right, what I'm going to do is the ASX hasn't opened yet. It's 7:52. I am going to give a ASX market update, but what I'm going to tell you here is what I believe is going to happen in the ASX when it opens. I believe it's going to open in the green. Now, I am going to wait till that opens, which will be in 8 minutes' time, and then we'll see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But that's my tip. Okay, and we'll get to the reason why I think that's going to happen later in the show. So what we'll do is we'll get onto the crypto market update. So this is the Ethereum chart here. This is the channel I drew a very, very long time ago, which, as you can see, we've pretty much been traveling within this channel, which is like a consolidation or accumulation period. We dipped below twice. So we're actually, if you see here, there's a certain pattern that we're forming here, and it's technically seen as a bullish pattern, and it's what they call an inverse head and shoulders to some degree. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. What's an inverse head and shoulders? So here we've got one shoulder, a head. Sometimes the head is actually not so prevalent, but that's quite a prevalent head, and then we're sort of forming another shoulder. So what does this mean? This basically can give you an indication of potentially some sort of bullish sentiment in the future. So watch this space, watch where we're happening here. I've put this together with some Fibonacci levels. As you can see, every time we sort of hit a fib level here and a fib level, this is just testing these particular Fibonacci levels. And what happens is that once it hits one particular level, it's basically a pivotal point to say, where are we from here? Are we bullish or bearish at this point? These are what the fib levels show me. So when we hit this level here, I'm interested to know where we're going from here. Are we bullish or bearish? Regardless of that, as an investment strategy, it's good to actually draw in Fibonacci levels because it helps you guide you as to in maybe where to put an entry point, even if you're a hodler. As a hodler, that looked like a good point right there. I even bought in on that particular point there, and I bought in again here, and again here. Why did I do that? Because basically I saw this level, so I drew another Fibonacci level underneath it and thought, you know what, I'm just going to pay attention to the market when it hits that fib level, and I did, and I bought in, and then there you go, you see it up. Now, I'm bullish on Ethereum in the long term, so I'm going to hold, but you can use this for any particular stock or crypto that you want to trade. So interesting place for Ethereum. Yeah, watch this space. It'll be interesting to see what Wall Street does when that opens later tonight, Perth time, as to what happens with Ethereum and Bitcoin. Just my opinion. One to watch. So that's that. So that's the crypto market update. Let's get some crypto news because it's 7:55. The ASX hasn't opened just yet. Let's go here. Ethereum. So people may ask, how do you find out information about crypto that's out there? My biggest advice to anyone would be get on Twitter and follow the cryptos that are listed on Twitter. Why? Because they give you literally the most up-to-date information about what's happening with their smart contracts platform, whether it be NFT or decentralized finance platform, whatever it might be. Twitter will give you up-to-date information about the news and what is happening with that particular crypto. So why is that important? Well, this comes into the fundamental side of investing, and I'll get into that a bit later in my Secrets Revealed and how I determine maybe what to invest in, why. All right, so let's have a look at what I've highlighted here. I just wanted to highlight one little point. This is actually Cointelegraph, guys. This is a great news source also for crypto. So, have a look at Cointelegraph, sign up to Cointelegraph, get their emails, get their alerts, gives you up-to-date information of what's happening in the crypto space, as well as getting on Twitter. They're probably my two main news sources for anything crypto would be Twitter and Cointelegraph. Now, fundamentals. Ether, which is Ethereum, continues to eye adoption against Ethereum's role in backing the booming decentralized finance, DeFi, and non-fungible token NFT industry. The recent SALT conference, Kathy Wood, CEO of ARK Invest, also said that investors should allocate at least 40% of their crypto portfolios to Ether. Why is this? They are the largest smart contracts platform. They have the most use cases for DeFi and NFTs. They were the first to probably establish this. Other smart contract platforms are playing catch up in regards to this. You can just name a few, such as Solana. You can name another one as Avalanche. You can name another one as Cardano, just to name a few. There are more out there. There's also Polkadot, but I won't get into all of them. So they're ahead of the game and such. And what they have at the moment is what you would call market share in this space, because they were the first. They have a lot built on Ethereum already. Therefore, they have the most use case, therefore the most market share. They have more, I guess, features than any other smart contracts platform. This may change in the future. Cardano is looking very promising. Avalanche is looking very promising. Solana potentially as well is looking promising. So watch that space. Okay, that's the crypto news. Let's go into the ASX news because it's 7:58. I hope I timed this right. This will be great if I can switch straight to the chart and the ASX opens, but we'll hopefully get to that. All right. So what am I highlighting here? Okay, big news. The biggest news, and if you've seen my last videos, you would have seen that. It was regarding Evergrande. So let's have a look at this. Global markets entering crunch time for two major risks overhanging markets, said Derek Holt, head of the capital markets economics at Scotiabank. The fate of China's Evergrande and the fast approaching US debt ceiling. Now, I want to just talk about Evergrande. There's some interesting news on that, and I'll get to it as well. Now, obviously, there's the debt ceiling for the US, which is a big concern, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents on that at the end of this article. So we'll move further down through all of this. What have I highlighted here? So this is Evergrande. Latest, the People's Bank of China has injected a net 460 billion yuan, US 71 billion in short-term cash to the banking system the past 5 working days, including 70 billion yuan on Friday. Right, what does this tell you now? China is basically helping bail out this company. Why? Because if it did collapse, markets most likely would see really bad effects, potentially. But did I think this was going to happen? Absolutely, 100%. And the fear of it being another global financial crisis, in my opinion, was highly unlikely. Why? Because understand this is a company and not a bank. Okay, not a bank, it's a development company, and they also do other things as well, I believe, in the electric vehicle space. So don't panic. People's Bank of China are stepping in, and there's also going to be some restructuring there, I believe, with that particular company. So hopefully we've seen the last of this whole Evergrande saga. Okay. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? Oh, my 2 cents. Yes. Let's look at this comment that I mentioned up here and highlighted. Okay, so the US debt ceiling. Now, why do I think there's no reason for concern regarding markets in the future? This is just my belief, and take it with a grain of salt, believe it or not, this is just my belief. There is an agenda happening in the world. The biggest agenda we have in the world is climate change. Climate change, if you believe it or not, I'm not taking sides on either, but the agenda is we're trying to reduce our carbon footprint in the world. What is the biggest change that's going to happen? Obviously, is the generation of power and also motor vehicles. Now, look, this is just my belief, but guys, within 10 to 15 years, most likely you will be driving an electric vehicle, whether you like it or not. You're not really going to have a choice. Why is that? Because you buy your vehicle from car manufacturers. Car manufacturers are already changing their infrastructure within their manufacturing plants to cater for electric vehicles. Therefore, they're going to reduce the number of petrol vehicles made. Therefore, at the end of the day, there will most likely at one point in time be 0 petrol vehicles new that are available to purchase. This is the agenda. This is happening. This is why we do not want to see some sort of major collapse in an economy, because there's a bigger picture at the end of all of this. Just my opinion, take it or leave it, it's up to you. Now, where do I get this from? Well, car manufacturers has already stated that they're not investing any more in petrol vehicles. They're not investing in it. The infrastructure used to make a petrol vehicle, they're not investing more money in it. In fact, they're transitioning to put that money towards the creation of electric vehicles. Here's some investment advice for you all. If you own a petrol vehicle and you think maybe I'll trade it in for an electric vehicle, if you can, don't. Why? Because in 100, 200 years from now, a petrol vehicle is somewhat of a relic. So therefore, if you have the opportunity, my advice would be, if you can, purchase a petrol vehicle, also own an electric vehicle, and if you can't hold on to both, deregister your petrol vehicle, put it under a cover somewhere, stick it in a garage, and give it to your kids and maybe or your grandkids. Could be a good investment in the future. Okay, that's just my 2 cents on that. Where are we now? 8:04 has the market open. I hope so. Let's have a look. Yes, it has, and it's open in the green. There you go. That's just open. As you can see, the ticker's moving there. So we're 0.25% in the green for the ASX 200, and the ordinaries are 0.26% up. On the open, which is 4 minutes in. Interesting enough, how do I determine whether the ASX is going to open in the green or in the red? Well, guys, you just have to look up here, and that was the close on Friday for the US markets. They all entered in the green, therefore we follow suit. We're opening in the green as they closed in the green. Okay, it's very simple, isn't it? Gives you an indication of what's going to happen to our market. It's quite good, isn't it? Because we literally follow America to some extent. And I also pay attention to the Chinese index and the Hong Kong index, being in Australia, of course. All right, commodity prices. Did I get to that in here? I think I highlighted that, but I didn't get to it. Oh, this one. This is interesting news. If you're a Chinese crypto holder, you might be deciding now it's time to cash out. 3 years ago, crypto was heavily centralized in China, with over 2/3 of mining happening there. If Chinese crypto holders fear a possession ban is looming, a tremendous amount of sell-off from old wallets may occur. Okay, now I'm going to put my 2 cents on this. Be aware that if you choose to enter crypto, you have 2 options. Decentralized and centralized. Now, sure, China are going to try and ban crypto within China, but putting it simply, unless they have a very, very good tracking system, people within China can simply go a decentralized route of owning crypto, and they'll still be in the market. My 2 cents, whether you take it or leave it, it's up to you. If they come across some sort of way to regulate that. Good on them. Why do I think China are trying to ban crypto? Well, it's just like how they try to ban Facebook and Twitter and all those other things that go on around our world or in the Western world, because basically China want to have some sort of control or maybe even their own market, I think more so, on these particular, large tech companies. So they basically ban it and then create their own, which is for the Chinese people. So take that or leave it as you want. That's just my 2 cents on that as well. That's all I got to say on that. Now, this is a bit more on Evergrande if you didn't know. Evergrande, the new energy, China's Evergrande New Energy Vehicle Group Limited, formerly Evergrande Health Industry Group, is commonly mainly engaged in health management. The company operates 2 segments. The health management segment business include Internet Plus community health management, international hospitals, the elderly care and rehabilitation industry, medical, beauty and aging, as well as the sales of healthcare spaces. The new energy vehicle segment is involved in the research, development, production of sales of new energy vehicles, including selling lithium batteries and automotive components, as well as providing technical services. So this is a big company, and that is pretty much why the Chinese government is bailing them out, because there's a lot at stake here. No surprises there. I didn't think this was going to be the next global financial crisis. That's just my belief, and I think to this day it's still going to be that way. Right, okay, where are we at? We're at secrets revealed, what everyone wants to know. Rightio, let's get into it. I'm just going to keep this one very basic. For all of you out there, the first thing to very much learn is just a basic trend line, and I'll do one here and explain how to draw one. I've actually got another chart which I can give you an example of that. The other thing we're going to talk about is Elliott waves. Okay, so the first one is the basic trend line. So let's have a look here. Say you were seeing this chart form up here and it went way up here and you thought, oh great, I'll sell off here maybe. Why? Because it's had a bit of a run. But then you're like, where's my next entry? Well, okay, you start seeing a decline. I keep an eye out here. You hit a low here. Then it went up again. So this is an interesting point. Now I want to know, and this fib level sort of told me what to look at that point in time. What I'm interested in here is it going to go further up or is it going to go back down again? Now, as it trended down, it trended further down. Now, what you're seeing here is lower highs and lower lows. Lower highs and lower lows then can start to form what they call Elliott waves, which are almost like little waves on a trend. Now, this is in a particular downward trend. So what do I look at when I'm looking at Elliott waves? Just my personal experience and what works for me, this is just what I found after looking at charts for so long. I like to look at it maybe probably five waves. So let's count them. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. This one had 4. You could probably count maybe that one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once it hits 5, I'm interested. Putting this together with fib levels, and I'll get into this in another Secrets Revealed. So I'm basically putting a lot of things together, whether it be Fibonacci levels, MAs, trend lines, Elliott waves, to determine an entry point into a market. So there's 5 Elliott waves. That's a good indication for me as an entry, especially on a downward trend. What else am I looking at? Just a basic trend line here. Now, I won't get into Fibonacci. I'll get that into the next one as to why I put that there and why it bounced off that particular Fibonacci level. But let's look at the trend line, just a very basic one, as a potentially interesting point as to an entry level into a market. How do I draw a trend line? Well, all you need to really do is watch the Elliott waves form and try and pick a point from the very top of a high within the start of the Elliott wave, and then just try and follow the highs on the downward trend as you go, right? So this particular one, I picked the high up here and then just followed it down there to a high there on a downward trend to the higher there. Now, why is this important and why do I draw it? Because when it breaks that trend line just there, it could give you an indication of a bullish signal and a bullish, I guess, sentiment in the market in the future at that point. So what people might do is find, just very basically at this point, if we just used a trend line, an entry level in the market just here. Now you probably think, well, why didn't you get down here? Okay, fair enough, but we're sticking with the basics, right? So we're sticking with just a trend line. That's all you need to do. Find it where it intersects the downward trend, and then there's your entry point there. And then, hopefully you'll see some momentum to the upside based on just a very basic trend line. So that's it. That's trend lines and Elliott waves for you. That's it. So stay tuned to part 2, which will talk about Fibonacci levels and how I put all of this together, as well as fundamentals to make an investment decision. We'll get onto fundamentals and how to look at that. I may even get into SWOT analysis with that, which is another thing that I do regarding fundamentals to determine whether or not I should invest in a project. Lastly, I also want to make mention to my friend of mine who's a lawyer who I had a conversation with just recently. He had an interesting thing about mergers and acquisitions within the ASX, and he said, oh, look, mergers and acquisitions came about and I sold out. And I was like, okay, great. Look, I did a video on mergers and acquisitions and what the relationship is to each of those companies in regards to price when this happens. I am going to do another exclusive mergers and acquisitions video to clearly explain the price action when a merger and acquisition happens within the ASX. So stay tuned to that. But we're going to continue on with Secrets Revealed episode 8, which will be part 2 of Fibonacci levels and MAs coming to you shortly. I will do another market update when the ASX closes and the US markets open tonight. Stay tuned to that. That's going to be interesting to see how the US market reacts. This is, the day that the US market will open this week, first day this week. So that's also very interesting. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like what the content that I've included in here, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. The more people that subscribe, like, and share, just smash those buttons. Just smash them. Like and subscribe. The more you do this, the more I can build my channel to even a point where I may even have a studio here. I might have special guests involved. Building my, reach will allow me to bring more and more people in the crypto space to my channel to talk about anything and everything crypto, and potentially even people within the ASX if I get that opportunity. You can find me on Facebook at Dan Encrypted. You can find me on Instagram at Dan Encrypted. You can find me on Twitter at Dan the Encrypted Man. This is Encrypted Inc. Thank you for tuning in. God bless, and I'll see you all very shortly.